After an epic few days here in the beautiful hill town of Sapa, the rain has finally caught up with us. But this is nothing unusual. As we mentioned before, the weather in the mountains can change in an instant. Like one moment it can be sunny, then the next moment it is misty, and before we know it, it is raining, like right now. And as always, the weather seems to shift just as we set off on our new journey to the next destination. So, let us sit back and embrace the cold chill and the wet rain as we wind our way down to the misty tail end of the Mường Hoa Valley. And then, on the very end of the Mường Hoa Canyon we will be crossing the Bản Phùng Bridge. From there we will veer into the serene La Vie Valley, and tracing its curves up and down until we meet the mighty Red River in the town of Pho Lu, a city which is nestled in the district of Bảo Thắng. From there, our path will lead us into the eastern reaches of the Lao Cai province, where we once again will climb up and ride toward the vibrant town of Bắc Hà, another highland town and gem that is blessed with colorful markets, rich ethnic traditions, and sweeping mountain views converge in a tapestry of culture and tranquility. So, buckle up and strap in tightly, as this wild ride to Bắc Hà is about to become another legendary chapter in our epic adventure saga here in Vietnam. And as we venture deeper into the lower Mường Hoa Valley, a canyon that is stretching from the town of Sapa down to the Bản Phùng Bridge in the Bản Phùng district, we can witness that the landscape quickly reveals itself as a dramatic corridor of wild terrain. The route winds through steep, terraced hillsides that shimmer with rice paddies, painting a breathtaking scene. Yet beneath this beauty lies danger, especially during the rainy season, when the land grows restless. The slopes seem to shift with every downpour, and the valley pulses with an unpredictable energy that demands respect from anyone daring to pass here through. Can you also see the hillsides along our route? They are so dangerously unstable and prone to landslides, that I am scared to death, especially on a day like this, when the rain feels relentless and unending. Here entire slopes can shift at any moment and without warning, and sending rocks and soil crashing down onto the narrow and winding path, just as it did here not long ago. It is utterly crazy. The thick sludge of earth has turned the road into a muddy, slick, and deeply rutted mess, which is more an obstacle course than a passage. And in places like the one we are navigating now, the path narrows to a single precarious lane, a track on which we motorbike riders must balance our way carefully forward, and hoping to avoid any missteps that can get us into harm and danger. This slippery and unpredictable track is also clinging to the edge of a steep ravine, and one wrong move could send us tumbling into the depths below, and this is certainly no place for hesitation, as only grit and focus will get us through this dirty and very unstable mess. Luckily, we have made it in one piece and are now crossing the Bản Phùng Bridge. It is the crossover point which is also marking the end of the descent through the Mường Hoa Valley. But not the end of the danger, as our ride is continuing into the next unforgiving valley, an area where the landscape grows even wilder than the one we just passed. The Bản Phùng Bridge spans over the fast-moving Mường Hoa stream, a waterway that surges from one side and converges with the equally treacherous La Vie tributary flowing from the valley ahead. Together, they form a volatile pool, a waterhole that swells rapidly during storms and that can transform this area into a remote and unpredictable battleground, perilous even for the most seasoned adventure rider. And so, we always must remember that the terrain here is raw, untamed, and constantly reshaped by nature's force, which is making this stretch one that is decidedly not for the faint-hearted riders. Now, if you are thinking that crossing the TRUNG Bridge felt like a milestone, you are vastly mistaken, as the crossing was not the finish line at all, since we are now continuing our way deep into the La Vie Valley, a canyon that stretches southeast toward Tujuajiao in the district of Bảo Thắng, which is located in the valley of the Red River Delta. Moreover, this valley is also the place which is marking the boundary of Sapa's rugged domain, although this is no gentle transition at all, as the terrain is growing even wilder, the forest thicker, and the path more elusive. The valley is dominantly carved by the furious La Vie stream, a watercourse that dances wildly between serenity and fury, and which is reshaping the land with every new downpour. Here, the road sometimes narrows to a single slippery and potholed lane which is bordered by steep drop-offs into scary and mist-shrouded ravines. Riders like us must balance with precision, knowing that one wrong move could mean a plunge into the depths below. It is also a place where the hillsides remain restless and prone to sudden landslides that can erase the path in seconds, as the rain does not just fall lightly, no, it carves, it shifts, and it challenges the whole canyon. This is an area that unfolds like a hidden world, cloaked in dense jungle and steep forested slopes. For adventure riders like us, this stretch is a true test of skills and nerves, yet for those who brave it, this valley is really offering something rare, as it is a place that is still untouched by mass tourism. It is a valley where scattered ethnic minority villages continue to live in harmony with the land. And so, the deep, unbroken silence is pierced only by the rush of water and the distant hum of life hidden within the steep hills. Consequently, this is not just a route. It is a passage through a living and breathing wilderness. And the more we push forward, and the deeper we go into its folds, the more we know that we are not just traversing a terrain, but that we are entering a story that is written by the people and the land itself. We already entered the Red River Valley here in the Bảo Thắng district, a region which is a vital industrial corridor that is linking the Tujuajiao's logistic hubs to the Buckingham manufacturing complexes. The busy and truck-loaded route will take us to Pho Lu, which cuts through a landscape that is shaped by rapid industrial developments. So get ready to see increased traffic. Large cement plants, ceramic factories, chemical plants and freight terminals that line the riverbanks and its wider vicinities, as we traversing an energetic territory which is supported by a growing network of rail and road infrastructure. The area of Tujuajiao also serves as a key distribution point, which is handling bulk materials and industrial goods. Where the city of Pho Lu on the other side of the Red River, which was once a quiet junction town, is now anchoring regional transport with its modernized rail station and convenient access to National Route QL4D, a stretch which is leading right to the border with China and beyond. After some more riding we should reach the town of Buckingham, a city which is situated at the crossroad with the QL70. I learned that they are the home to many advanced processing facilities, including hydroforming and metal fabrication plants, which are all large factories that supply the construction business and the export markets. Nevertheless, and despite the industrial intensity, the Red River here remains central, both as a transport artery and a cultural landmark. Regardless the valley's transformation, which is reflecting Vietnam's drastic push towards the regional integration and its industrial modernization, while despite of all this, it is still echoing the rhythms of its agrarian past very much.
Take the next right. Continue for 24 kilometers.
Con từ Bắc Hà.
Ascending now the road here from Buckingham and living the industrial heartbeat that was pulsing through the Red River Valley, and which filled the air with hum of machinery and the scent of iron behind us. We continue our peaceful journey along scenic asphalt roads, heading eastward into the Tây Côn Lĩnh mountain system of Lào Cai province. This new terrain marks a striking contrast to the dramatic landscapes of the Hong Lin Sun Range in the west, where the town of Sapa is nestled. The Tây Côn Lĩnh mountain system here is rising beyond the industrial lowlands of the Red River Valley, and into the eastern side of the Lào Cai province, unfolding into a quieter and more enigmatic landscape. So, we are here actually at the foot of the Tây Côn Lĩnh mountain system, a massif which stretches across the horizon, like an ancient spine of peaks that marks the gateway to the northeastern frontier of Vietnam. Though Tây Côn Lĩnh highest summits lies in the province of Hà Giang, however, its southern ridges is spilling here into the district of Bắc Hà, and shaping the terrain around the areas of Koc Dao, Nam Mon, and also of the town of Bắc Hà itself. These mountains are part of the upper watershed of the Che River, a mountain stream which is a tributary of the Red River, and they form a natural barrier between the lowland trade routes and the highland cultures that have thrived in isolation for many centuries. It is also here where smokestacks give way to cinnamon groves, and the roar of freight trains fades into the rustle of bamboo forests, and turning the landscape into a steep and forested territory, with elevations that are ranging from 800 meters to over 1,800 meters in height. This rugged terrain is defined by striking limestone outcrops, granite ridges, deep ravines, and terraced fields, which have been carved over generations by Hmong and Dao farmers who adapted their agriculture to the rhythm of the mountains, by clinging their farms into the steep slopes and making road access both challenging and breathtakingly scenic. And as we reach the Trung Du area, which is shaped by centuries of erosion and human settlement, with remnants of old fortifications and spiritual sites that are tucked into the folds of the valley, I learned that in the 16th century, this area became a strategic stronghold under the generals Vu Van Mat and Vu Van Nguyen, who fortified the area against the Mac dynasty. Their citadels and ramparts made Trung Du a center of resistance and regional leadership during the late Lý dynasty. Today, around 100 households from 5 ethnic groups live here, namely the Thai, the Hmong, the Dao, the Nung and the Kin, with many of them descending from the original defenders. The community celebrates its heritage through festivals like the spring plowing and traditional temple offering, and keeping ancestral traditions alive amid their forested hills and rich folklore. Further north, we will brush the commune of Nam Mon, which is known for its traditional corn liquor and peanut cultivation, and for their homes that are built from timber and stone, which are often perched above narrow valleys. All these facts and the ever-changing landscape is transforming this adventure into a truly extraordinary route, one that pierces and ascends into the highland soul of Vietnam's northeastern frontier. It forms a corridor that seamlessly links the industrial edge of the Red River Valley with the rich cultural tapestry of the eastern slopes of the Tây Côn Lĩnh mountain system, where tradition, nature, and history converge in quiet majesty.
Welcome to Bắc Hà.
And as the elevation rises, so cools the climate, shedding the humidity of the basin for the crisp breath of the clean and nice highland air. Here the temperature has dropped noticeably, especially during the wintertime, when the temperature hovers around 10 degrees Celsius and the mist is draping the hills like a ghostly veil. This microclimate nurtures plum orchards, tea shrubs, and medicinal herbs, which is giving the region its uniquely agricultural distinctiveness. All this makes Nam Mon far more than just a waypoint. It is a living archive of ethnic resilience, where tradition and landscape intertwine in quiet strength. For anyone passing through the Eastern Highlands of Bắc Hà, this village deserves a place on their itinerary, not just only for its beauty, but also for the stories it continues to carry. As for the district of Bắc Hà itself, it is home to a mosaic of over 18 ethnic groups, with the flower Hmong at its vibrant core. Then there are the Tai, the Dao, the Nung, the Phu La, the Hoa, the Kin, the Giai, the Lakai, the Laha, the Lulu, the Muong, the Tai, the Kang, the Hanais, the Bo Wise and the San Che. The town itself is home to the historic Hong A Tuong Palace, which was built in 1914 by a Hmong chieftain under the French colonial influence, and it is a fusion of European and Asian architecture that strongly whispers of diplomacy and defiance. In the springtime, the hills here erupt in plum and peach blossoms, and the annual horse racing festival gallops through the plateau in a celebration of bareback skill and ancestral pride. This is also the southern slopes of the Tây Côn Lĩnh mountain system, the dominant massif of the Hà Giang province, whose ridgelines spill here into the eastern reaches of the province of Lào Cai. We are now entering our final stretch toward the town of Bắc Hà, and it feels like stepping into a revelation. This area is known as the White Plateau for its ethereal light and mist-veiled mornings. It is a highland town that sits nearly 1,000 meters above the sea level, and it is not only cradled by rolling peaks, but also by ancient ridgelines. And as we descend into its cultural heart, I have been told that the Sunday market bursts into view like a kaleidoscope of color and sound here, and transforming into a place where livestock bleat beside stalls of fermented treats, and the handwoven textiles shimmer in the breeze, a place where century-old tradition unfold in a ritual which is as timeless as the hills themselves. Yes, looking at the road condition and the currently gloomy sky, as well as the reason that Bắc Hà might not appear on the typical tourist trail through Vietnam, but that is precisely what makes it special. Tucked into the misty highlands of the province of Lào Cai, this quiet town is a place where the air is crisp, the mornings are wrapped in fog, and the rhythm of the life is still following the seasons. What Bắc Hà lacks in crowds, it makes up for in authenticity. Its legendary Sunday market is a vibrant gathering of over 18 ethnic groups, where we can find handwoven textiles, corn wine, livestock trading, and a spirit of community that still feels very timeless. Nearby villages like Bon Pho, Na Hui, and the Von Chu also offer rich insights into their local cultural traditions. These hamlets invite travelers on immersive treks through terraced fields and traditional homes. Small guided local tours which are perfect for wanderers like us, roamers who seek genuine connections with local communities, and not the highly staged spectacles of mass over tourism. This and many other reasons make Bắc Hà not just a stopover, but a doorway into Vietnam's highland soul, as well as an interesting route into the Hà Giang territory. And for all of those who crave quiet beauty, cultural depth, and stories that linger long after the journey ends, this town is absolutely worth the detour and a must visit. We are now closing in on today's final destination here in the town of Bắc Hà. Thank you for joining this unforgettable journey, one that began this morning in the rainy town of Sapa, and winding through the lush Mường Hoa Valley, dipping into the misty folds of the Lavi Valley, and descending into the industrial basin of the Red River. Though the heavy rain and intense wind kept us from capturing the daring river crossing, nevertheless, all the memory of it lingers as it was raw, rushing, and very real. Then, from there, we began our ascent into the southern slopes of the Tây Côn Lĩnh mountains, and climbing up the provincial road DT-153, and through the serene Nha Hoi Valley. The road twisted upward through cloud-wrapped ridges and terraced hillsides, and each turn was revealing a new and exciting layer of the usually hidden highland life. And now, arriving here in the city of Bắc Hà, a hill town that is cradled by mountains and steeped in ancestral memory, we certainly are arriving at a place where silence speaks in ancient tongues, and where the land is breathing with quiet resilience. So, if this kind of adventure also stirs something deep within you, and if winding roads, misty valleys, and stories etched into the mountains speak to your soul, then do not just watch from afar. Hit subscribe, join the ride, and come along for what is next. Because in our upcoming episode, we will dive deeper into the mystical town of Bắc Hà, a highland sanctuary where ancient traditions still echo through the hills, where every market stall hums with history, and where the land itself feels alive with memory. It is a realm as wild as it is sacred, and trust me, it is absolutely worth the journey.
Hello.